Hello friends and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talk. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This video is in the playlist called Linux tutorial, and here we're learning about the chmod command or change mode command in Linux. So in a previous video in the same playlist, in this same channel, you have learned about the concept of file permissions, and that is a good preparation for you to prior to taking on this, learning this new command, which is chmod. But in any case, if you want to go straight to this command, you can help yourself. But I do recommend that you watch the file permissions video I had previous to this, because it gives you, it lays the groundwork and a framework for you to learn the change mode command. So before I get started, the change mode command is, of course, used to handle or handle file permissions of files and or directories. And let me just put a couple of things here. Okay, so permission types and their numeric values. So there are two types of, or two ways of using the change mode command. And I don't want to confuse you so much because there are two ways. I will go with the quicker, in my experience, in my belief, the easier between the two ways of using the change mode command, which is command again to change the file permissions, permissions of a file or of a directory. So we'll go with that approach, which is using numeric values for the different permissions. So think of a file, think of a folder or directory in Linux terminology. If you think of a file, which you are very familiar with, there are three permissions attached to it. You could do a read, you could have a permission to write or execute. When we say read, that means being able to view a file, such as maybe a text file. We're able to view it. You have read permission. And write, meaning you're able to edit. You're able to not just edit, but create a file. That's also writing, and as well as editing. Execute is the most obvious example of execute is when you are trying to run a script, like a shell script, an SQL script, which is, although they are text files, they've been given the proper permission so that you can execute them as if they were in the Windows context executable files. In fact, they are executable files. So these are the three file permission types: read, write, execute. And then in another way of using the change mode, which I will not take on when I talk about this time, because I'll be using the numeric way of doing it, you'll be using this RWX. But in any case, when you do a listing of files, you will see this. Okay, I'll show you later on. But for now, I'm showing you that the RWX have numeric values as far as the change mode command is concerned. So for read, the numeric value of that is 4. And for write, the numeric value for that is 2. And for execute, the numeric value is 1. If it's hard for you to recall that, then just think of it this way. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Or conversely, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Okay, one is the double of the other, and 1 is half of the other. Okay, in that sequence. So RWX 4, 2, 1. Okay, that's simple. And we will see later on how it's being used in the change mode command. The other thing which I have taken up in the file permissions video, which I will also paste here, is this concept of the three user categories. So there are three user categories, and they are meaning the permissions read, write, execute are being granted to the owner of an object, which is a file or a directory, the group to which the owner belongs to, and others, meaning neither the owner nor the group of the owner. Okay, this is others. Now, to see the file permissions, again, this was taken up during my in my file permissions video. Then you will just issue or execute a list long command. So list is for directory listing or listing directories and folders. And the hyphen here is, of course, for options in Linux. And the long, or L, means detailed. So it's a detailed listing of files and directories. Okay, so we're interested in this section over here, except for the first character, okay? Like I mentioned in the previous video, the first character denotes or tells you the file type of the one being listed here. Meaning this object over here I'm highlighting is a directory because it's a D. The first character of the list long output is a D, it's a directory. If it's just a hyphen or dash, up to you, then that means this thing is a file, not a directory, okay? So, but we're interested in the characters that follow the first character. So from here, from the second character, all the way up to here, just before the space, okay? So those are about file permissions, file or directory permissions. Okay, if we just go back to this thing I pasted over here, permission types RWX, you can see it here, RWX. You don't always see them because that means if you don't see them, they have not been granted. Such permission has not been granted. Okay, so here you have read, there is no write permission, and then there's an execute permission. Similarly here, there's a read permission, there is no write permission, sorry, and there's an execute permission. Here, there's a read write, and then there is nothing granted for the rest. Okay, so actually, from this second character all the way to the last, just before the space, or the white space, if you can call it, are the read write execute permissions of three groups of users. The owner of the object, which is this is the object I'm talking about. It's a file or a directory in this case. So again, RWX is read, write, execute. Those are the permissions or privileges, while there are three sets of them, RWX, RWX, RWX in the perfect world. Why three? These are the three, owner, group, other. So the first three refer to the file permissions of the owner. The second three permissions are those of the group, and the last three permissions belong to others. Again, owner, the owner of this object, be it a file or a directory. Group is the primary group to which the owner belongs to. If we look at this listing here, and then just focus on these two over here. The first one, although they look the same, they are the same technically, but they have different significance. The first one is the owner, which is owner, okay? Owner of this object, which is in this case a directory. The second is the primary group or the group to which the owner belongs to, okay? This is the owner and this is the group. So meaning for this object, which is a directory, we know because the first character is a D, the owner, DBOS, has these permissions on the object: read, write, execute. The group to which DBOS belongs to, which happens to be named also DBOS, but it's a group name, has these permissions: R, X. The W is blanked out because it has no write permissions. And for the others, neither owner nor belonging to the group, they have also read, execute permissions only. Now, together with that, take note of these numeric values over here. And remember, it's just a double or a half of the previous or of the subsequent. Okay, so 4 to 1 or 1 to 4. Very easy to remember. And so read has a numeric value of 4, write has 2, and execute has 1. All right. So that's why if we look at this permissions here for the object called exer sub, which is a directory, that means the owner has read, write, execute permissions. If we use it in a change mode command, we shall be adding the numeric values with the 3. So R is 4, write is 2, execute is 1. So we add them. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. So remember, this is 7. So the second is read and execute only. That means it has a value, numeric value of 4 and 1, which is 5. And the other is also 4 and 1. So that means this was a result of doing a change mode 755. Okay, 7 because first has all the The owner has the three permissions, 421, 421 is 7, etc., etc. Okay, so I believe you, I I hope you are getting more clarity in this explanation. Okay, so again, if to guide the file permissions, you will have to issue or use the list long command. Okay, so, and then you will see the file permissions on the left side. So like for this case, the owner only has read write permissions, no execute, while the group and the others have no permissions whatsoever. Okay, that's what it means. Now let's look at an example. Okay, okay. So again, if we look at this, this means if we take this example, this is belonging to the object called first file.txt, which is a file. The owner has read write permission, so that means 4, 2, and here instead of having 1, it has 0, it has none. So it's 6. Okay, so anyway, I'll give you an example. If we focus on the file called practice.txt, let me just isolate that for a while. No, notice that its permissions are like these, like this. So the owner has RW, which is 6, 4 plus 2. And I'll type it in here. So the owner has 6. Why? 4 plus 2. Group has only read, so group only has 4. Numeric value for permission. And others has also 4, just a read. So that is as if this was, if a change mode command was used on this, then this was the command. Change mode 644 and then the file name. That's what I mean by that. Okay. So let me look at practice the text. Notice that all of them, the owner, the group, and others all have read permissions on the file practice text. That can be proven if that's true if we're able to view that file. Okay. So in this case, I am the owner of this file. I'm logged in as DBOS. So I should be able to view this file using the cat command, which we also talked about in a previous video. And I am able to view that command. That's because the file practice.txt has been granted read permission read permission has been granted to all parties like owner, group, and others. That's why I'm able to view the command. That's the meaning of having a read permission, okay, which we see from a list long. Now, being the owner, I show you I'm the owner. Okay, who am I? So I'm DBOS, that's the owner. So being the owner, I'm here. These are my permissions. I have read, I also have write permissions. So to prove to you that I have write permissions, I should be able to use the VI command, which is visual, which is the default text editor of Unix as well as in Linux. So I should be able to VI this file because I'm the owner and I have a write permission on this file. Okay, so I will do VI. And I'll show you I have edit permissions or write permissions. I can do, I will try to delete lines. 5BD. See, so I have edit capabilities on this file because being the owner, although it's not because I'm the owner, but it's because I have write permissions on the file. Okay, the W here. Okay, so you can see now that again, the permissions of the file called practice text, it gives write permission to the owner, which is I. Now, if I will show you change mode and I want to change that so that even the owner will not have write permissions, I can do it like this because I want to show you the effect of using the change mode. So again, let me just paste it in here again, the permissions. So you can take a look at it while we do it. Okay. So not very good. Let me just check. Okay. So list long practice text. We can see that the owner has write permissions. Now I'm gonna do a change mode. And I only wanna give, I wanna take or remove the write permission from the owner. Okay, so remember R is 4, write is 2, and execute is 1. Okay, so if I say I only want to give the owner write permissions, then I will only give it this, which is 4. I don't want to give it, sorry, I want to give the owner only read permission, then I'll give it 4. For write, I don't want to give it a write permission, so I'll give it 0. Execute, I don't want to give it execute, so I'll also give 0. Sorry. This, the first number or the first digit is for the owner. Okay, you will sum up. So I only want to give it right. So it's like 4 plus 0 plus 0. Okay, that is 4. This is for the owner. For the group, I want to give it also the same. Just a read. No write, no execute. So that is 4 plus 0 plus 0. 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. Okay, same thing for the others. I only want to give it like this. It will not change. I want to retain that. That is 4, 0, 0. 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. Okay, so that is how it is. Again, the change mode is that this is for the permission for the owner, for the group, sorry. Second is for the group, the third is for the others. We're summing up the permissions, all right? So since it's 4, I'm only giving it read for all 3 parties, okay? And then when you do an ls, you'll see the effect, okay? So because of this 444, it only granted read on all 3 parties, owner, group, others. And to prove to you it's now read only even for the owner, if I try to VI, which is the text editor, which allows you to edit a text file in Linux, if I say VI practice the text, it should now be uneditable. If you look at the bottom, you will see practice text, the file name, followed by read only. See, you cannot even edit this anymore. Why? Because of this. Even the owner doesn't have write access anymore. Just to show you another example, let me just give you another example of change mode. Let's just say I want to give it everything, meaning read, write, execute to the owner. So that means read, write, execute. I give all. So 4 plus 2 plus 1, that's 7. That's for the owner. For the group, I only want to give it read, write, 4 plus 2, 6. For others, I don't want to give it anything, so I'll just give it 0. Okay? Again, what this means is that the first digit is for the owner, 7 because 4 plus 2 plus 1, meaning I'm giving it all the 3 permissions, read, write, and execute. Even though it doesn't make sense for now because it's a text file and it's not really an executable, but I'm just showing you the effect of using the change mode. And for this, for the group, I'm giving it 6, and 6 can only be obtained by summing up 4 and 2, right? It cannot happen with 4 plus 1, 1 plus 2, no. 6 is only because it's 4 plus 2, meaning I'm giving it read and write. That's for the group. For the others, I'm giving it 0, meaning I'm giving it neither a read, a write, nor an execute permission. Okay. And then when we list this file now, you can see It's 760. So the owner has 421. RWX is 421, which is 7. The group has RW0, RW none, which is 426, which is this. While the others have nothing, no permissions at all. That's why it's 0 here. Okay? So that is the change mode command, which is a command used in Linux to handle or to set file permissions on files as well as on directories. Okay? Again, remember, this is the easier way of doing change mode using numeric values of the 3 file permissions: read, write, and execute. There are 3s. So remember the 3 permissions: read, write, execute, and then the 3 user categories: the owner, the group, and others. Okay, thank you for watching and listening. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and click the bell. I'll be seeing you in the next video.